The second section is about video meeting room. Here, see what I'm explaining, the difference between the group video calling and video meeting room. Most of people are confused between the two. See, in group video calling, it is the originator of the call makes the video call to some other person and who is receiving the call. So means somebody is calling, somebody receiving. That's it. So that happens in case of WhatsApp, that happens in case of Skype, that happens in case of I told you just now about the Apple FaceTime. But video meeting room is something else. Video meeting room means if there is a meeting room, there is a virtual meeting room in which each one of the people are calling or connecting. So difference, you understand the difference. They are giving one meet, like today. Today we are having a video meeting room. I've given you some meeting ID, I've given you some password or some link, and you dial into that meeting room. The popular video meeting apps, especially after this lockdown, they have become very popular. Zoom and Google Meet. Earlier, Google Meet was called Google Hangout. Many of the insolvency professionals and chartered accountants and other whosoever are doing the conferences, they are using Google Meet. Zoom is actually advised by the Home Ministry to be not used for official work. But what I will say that whether they are actually pinpointing one application, it's actually the mishap that can happen, the accidents that can happen. If we do not follow the, we be cautious, then it can happen with any of the apps which are there for video meeting. I'll explain this thing in my further slides. There are a few more like WebEx, Cisco WebEx is there. BlueJeans is there. GoToMeeting is there. So normally I see that Cisco WebEx is being used by the ICSI IIP for webinars now. BlueJeans is being used by triple IP of ICAI. And GoToMeeting is also being used. So these are the couple of apps which are being used by different people for video meeting. There are certain advantages, disadvantages, cost, benefit. So broadly, what I'll say that let's not get confused at this point in time. The initial two, the Google Meet and Zoom, they are mostly free. And others like GoToMeeting, BlueJeans, WebEx, they are all free, but for a very limited period, maybe 7 days, 14 days. After that, they start charging huge amounts. So to start with, you can use any one of them, Google Meet or Zoom. Obviously, when Zoom has been advised to be not used for official work, you should not use it, but the instructions, the do's and don'ts apply for all the apps. I'll cover that. To give you a bit idea about the pricing and all, the Google Meet, which was earlier called Google Hangout, it is free for G Suite users, and up to 250 participants are allowed. I mean, this is more than sufficient. If you are already subscribed G Suite, then the Google Meet is free for your organization. And the pricing of G Suite is 210 rupees per month per user. But G Suite comes not only this video meeting, there are email ID account is also given to you. So there are a lot of things in this suite. If you talk of Zoom, then there is no such requirement of per user. Up to 100 participants, you can do any meeting free. And that is the reason why it has become very popular nowadays. But only thing is that there is a limit of 40 minutes. After that, it automatically closes. If you want that your meeting should continue for more than 40 minutes, then you should subscribe. And once you subscribe, you have to pay a $15 per month. It doesn't depend on participants. Up to 100 participants, whether you have 10 participants or 20 or 100, the same price is to be paid, that is $15 per month. After 100, definitely there are more plans. If you talk of Cisco WebEx, It's also a very good platform. They give you a trial of 30 days for 25 participants. But after that, they start charging you. BlueJeans, they also give you a trial for 7 days, but then they start charging you. GoToMeeting, same. It's also very costly. So I was talking that there are certain precautions that must be taken care while using the video meeting room apps. So what are those precautions? They are quite obvious, but when you read them, you actually appreciate. One thing is that set password for each meeting. Don't bypass it. Which means that you should not, there is an option that bypass password. Like today also, you must have entered a password to enter it. So that's a good practice. The second thing is waiting room. That waiting. There is a query from Kamal. I'll answer that shortly. So waiting room means that you actually, when you try to enter, you come in a waiting room, and there the host, he is able to see that somebody is waiting and press the admit button. So that's all very good practice. Otherwise, if you bypass that waiting room concept, then people will start coming in and you will be not having any control. Or some unauthorized person may come who has accidentally got the user and password which has been shared with everybody. There is one question from Mr. Khurana. I'll answer that as well. Disable join before host for video meeting. This is very important. Normally, if you have attended any seminars or conferences, it is like somebody is hiding in your conference hall, even before everybody is arriving. Obviously, this is dangerous. It should not happen. Some person will be actually lurking over there in the hall. And whatever security you are doing, before host, nobody should join. And last is the allow removed participants to rejoin, that you should disable. Because if you find that somebody is unwanted and you disallow him, you remove him, then he may again enter. So that definitely is not desirable. Screen sharing generally should be done by the host only. Why should anybody else do the screen sharing? So it should be disallowed while you are setting up the meeting. And also the same case with the file transfer. The file transfer, you don't know that some unscrupulous element may transfer some files which are not healthy, or which should not be shown up to everybody accidentally also. So that's why whenever you are doing any official meetings, do not allow anybody to transfer any file. Disable it from the beginning itself. This is also one of the good practices that after the meeting has started and you feel that everybody has already come in, shut the door. Sometimes happens in conferences also. Just when all the students have come, the teacher may say that now close the door. Nobody should come and disturb. And lastly, when the meetings are complete, just don't leave it like that. You must end the session, because you never know that after you have left, something else started happening. Everything is getting recorded. This is not good for official meetings. And probably these are some of the areas where people, because of lack of knowledge, do not pay attention. And one of the applications, Zoom, has been blacklisted, or it has been said that it should not be used for the official purposes. Now, very interesting, webinar. Webinars are being conducted. Now, what is the difference between video meeting room and webinar? In simple words, I'll say that webinar is an add-on on video meeting rooms. There are certain differences. Those differences, when they are taken care of, you call the meeting room as webinar itself. Let's see in the differences I have shown that here you can have multiple participants. There you have got also got multiple participants. That generally participants in webinar do not interact with each other. They are not expected to. The learning process happens from the host or from the panelist to everybody rather than amongst the webinar attendees. The roles, typically roles, there are host, co-host in case of meeting rooms. There are participants in a classroom like that. But here you have got a panelist, you have got co-host, and attendees are there. Audio sharing in case of video meeting rooms, generally participants are authorized to mute, unmute their audio. But in case of webinars, control is with the panelist or host. Video sharing, generally in video meeting rooms, everybody can share the video. But here, normally, people are not interested in seeing each other's videos. And the list of the participants. List of the participants, yes, is visible here, but there in case of webinars, it's not required. Okay, so before moving to the next, I'll answer the